Hello, and welcome to episode number 63 of the Comic Conspiracy Podcast. This is the week of, June 25th, 2012. My name is Ryan Higgins, and we're here to talk about some comic book stuff. First person over here to say hello.
Brock Sager.
Hello, Brock. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Next here on the table.
Charlie West.
Hello, Charlie.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent. Down the far end.
Hello.
Who are you?
Toby.
Hello, Toby.
Hello.
And no Omar this week, but filling in for Omar, our often sixth chair, who is now a fifth chair, who will next week be a no chair because he's going back home for an indeterminate amount of time. That is Jim. Jim, say hello.
Hello.
Move that mic a little closer to you.
Oh, okay.
There
How's
you
that?
go. That's better. Much better.
Okay.
Is it just me, or is this intro really awkward?
No, that's fine.
All
Jim.
intros are a little awkward.
Okay, just checking.
Because I'm flipping Ryan off under the table.
Now, Jim has been a long-time customer in front of the store. Long time. Been with us for quite some time now. And
Yes.
Unfortunately, he's not here most of the time, so it's he works overseas and lives on the other side of the coast. But he's every couple times a year he's able to stop by this way. So I'd love to have you here. It's been a longer than normal trip out here for
Yes, it
recent
has.
years. So
Yeah.
glad to have you here for a while. Glad to actually have you on the podcast. As you know, as a listener of this podcast as well, when we have new people on, we like to ask them their secret comic origin. And you said you didn't want to do it, but I'm going to make you do it anyway. So now you got a couple years on us. So I want to hear your real comic origin.
Do have a few years on you.
Yeah.
Remember collecting comics way back in the 70s. I remember picking up early Hulk. First comic I remember picking up was a Werewolf by Night horror comic.
Now, was this like Spinner Rack, the drugstore or whatever? Or where were you getting these?
This is exactly the spinner rack, or if I'm lucky, sometimes I had them with the coloring books. But mostly it's spin racks, and they were 25, 30 cents back then, so easily accessible. No, it's either that or a piece of candy. So most of the time went after the comic books.
What were you reading? Mostly Marvel?
Some Marvel. At that time, it was like bright colors. Ooh, cool. Cool cover. If it had a cool cover, I picked it up. So I went with a lot of I was really been to the Universal Monsters, so I went into the horror comics, the Morbius, the Werewolf by Night, Monster of Frankenstein, stuff like that. Tomb of Dracula.
Now, did you, where do you, what was your reading, once you got into the 80s and 90s, from into what we consider more the modern age of comics? What were you reading?
I dropped out of comics for a long time, and when I was in the Navy, we were in the Philippines, and I went into the Naval PX, and they had, you're going to like this, they had just come out with New Warriors #1.
Oh, yeah.
Some Dark Hawk #1s, all the 80s and 90s fluff. So I jumped on New Warriors. I jumped on a lot of the comics back then, and from then I started backfilling and going forward, and wow, it just exploded from comics into comics and toys, into comics, toys, and collectibles, everything from props to statues to you name it. So
I was going to say, I know you read comics, and I know you're a big graphic novel, hardcover especially.
love my hardcovers.
Yes, he and I fight over them.
Yeah, but here at the store, you're known more for toys and props and statues, more so than comics. You definitely buy a lot of comics.
Yeah.
But I've seen you've bought a lot of your collection from us as well over the years.
Yes, I have.
You
Yes.
have a lot of statues, and especially like movie props, replicas. You even have like a full size Lady Death.
Yes.
Is that your
Yes, that was
life size?
That was what happens when you're bored in hotel rooms around the world.
And hey, now I don't want to know what you're doing.
You start surfing eBay, you start surfing Amazon, you start putting stuff together in your head. Most people, sit around and ask, why would you do this? I sit there and say, why not?
How much did that cost, if you don't mind me asking?
The mannequin itself came. It was like $76 plus maybe $30 shipping, so $100 for the mannequin. Then you start finding the outfit, and you start finding the hair, and fortunately, Halloween brings a lot of that stuff around. You can find white wigs very easily at Halloween. You can find the costumes at Halloween. So
how'd you do the boobs?
They were there.
Fortunately, this was a busty mannequin, and it worked out really well.
Busty mannequin?
It worked out really well.
$76 for a busty mannequin?
Hey, it's cheaper than most of the statues I buy in here. So
this is true.
Now-
it was fantastic.
Now, with most of the statues, you've done a lot of custom. You've done a lot of repairing on statues.
Yes, I have.
What's your
A lot of nice repaints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, this is something I would never in a million years trust myself. How do you even get into this? Honestly, I have no idea how you even started
you
this.
Start with little, 3 3/4 Star Wars size action figures.
Were you painting like D&D miniatures and stuff?
I never touched D&D.
Okay.
I never touched the little metal figures.
Yeah.
But I started actually with Star Wars figures because I was had that kind of time on my hands and started going, they don't make this figure. I'm going to make that figure. They don't make this figure. I'm going to make that figure. And then, later on, down the road, when I put them on display, now they got all those figures out. Now they actually turn around and make them. So that's what I said. If you want something made, let me make it first. They'll turn around and make it right behind me.
Because I think your most recent one that you were showing me was you're doing a Toro figure, right?
Actually, original Human Torch.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking to do a Toro. I'm looking to do a Toro.
Okay.
But nobody had done a original Human Torch statue. I picked up a Human Torch, Fantastic Four Human Torch statue off of eBay, really cheap, broken. Somebody tried to paint it and just jacked it up. Brought it home, stripped it down, painted it, primed it, filled it all with putty, dropped it, broke it. Had to re-glue it, re-putty it, re-sand it, everything. And that's when you don't make phone calls. Hold the phone with one hand and try and move the statue around and talk to your friend at the same time. And he heard the old oops. Got to start over from square one again.
I've done that once or
but
twice.
at least you know how to start over and fix it from square one again.
I was surprised at myself. I did not fret. I did not freak out. I just let it go and just took it right back into the right back to the table and started gluing it and sanding it again. So
because the 2 or 3 times I've dropped statues here in the store, they go back into the box and go into the trash.
No, that's the last thing you do. You do what you do is you call me.
Yeah, you contact
Jim. I got a broken
Jim.
statue now, so.
Well,
But
Jim will come and haggle with you.
That's right. Yeah. So that's how it starts. It starts with small figures, and you just go and go and go. And like I said, people will ask, why? And I just, hey, why not? Why not have some fun? Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I still can't believe some of the repair jobs you've actually managed to pull off spectacularly well.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man. I
And
appreciate
I
it.
have to add, too, you have a really nice Donna Troy that you repainted into the black costume with the stars on it.
Still got one I got to do for you too.
Yes, absolutely. I'm still trying to beg Ryan to come down on the price or break it, and then I can get it cheaper. That hasn't happened yet.
So that's how it. That's my origin. Comics, statues, toys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, what's your as far as your man cave back home, it's actually a man mansion at this point. It's a man house. I've seen it. You got a lot of stuff. What's your favorite piece? What do you think? If you just had to pick one.
Wow. Right now,
It doesn't have to be absolute favorite.
No.
Top
I
of your
understand
head.
what you're saying.
Let's hear it.
My absolute favorite statue right now would have to be the Adam Hughes comiquette of Emma Frost / White Queen.
That's the one
The
from
first
Sideshow.
Sideshow one. Fantastic statue.
That
my
puts the bust in a non-bust.
That's right. The favorite prop would have to be the Superman green crystal from the first Superman movie. I got a nice prop of that one. Right behind that one would be the JLA prop of the 4 Kryptonite samples.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And the one prop I don't have that I'm working on probably next month was going to be a life-size Wolverine skeleton, adamantium skeleton.
Good God.
Completely chromed out, and it's going to be in the corner of my library.
Is this like an actual release product, or is this something that you're just going to make?
This is something
This is
it's
where
been in my
you-
brain for many years.
Yes.
And
It's
going to be real. It's
Now,
gonna be
Jim-
real.
This is
A 1 point idea was going to have a water tube, too.
Now, Jim is a very big. Well, I don't want to say you're a big Hulk fan. You're a big Maestro fan.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Maestro is like the evil future Hulk.
Yeah.
it's because he has long hair.
And that Wolverine skeleton made some pretty cool appearances there. so-
Wolverine made it in Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Made it to one of the first appearances right there whenever the Sentinel killed him.
Yeah.
It ended up in the Maestro's trophy room. It ended up in, he was just in, the Cable. He was just in the X-Sanction. Cable in the future had a Wolverine skeleton
Oh, right.
in the Avengers mansion. So, it's made its rounds, but nobody's actually even done a small version of it.
Yeah.
So I've actually tried to find something to go by on the internet. There's nothing. There's not even a picture of somebody trying it. Just the only one they have is the Sideshow bust, Weapon X bust of the Wolverine skeleton with his arms crossed.
Yeah.
So that's the only one there is.
Now you need to get contacts in the medical field to get the right skeleton donor and height and width and stuff.
Let's go to one of those like spooky Halloween costume stores. I'm sure they have hanging
Yeah, but
skeletons.
see, when you chrome it
that's
out,
too easy for Jim.
Yeah.
See, he's going to have to go, I want that knee from that guy when he dies. I want that leg, that upper thigh.
no, it's
That
gonna be
rib cage is perfect for it. That's
know-
how it's going to go.
it's gonna happen. It's gonna be late at night in some foreign country. You're on the internet. And
There's only so much I can ship from overseas,
exactly.
okay, guys?
Jim, why are you buying skeletons while you're here working? What's happening?
It's not like I'm having the company buy them, okay? This is all me.
Well, good to have you in the podcast, and
Thanks
hopefully
a lot.
you can chime in here because we got a few questions on Twitter here that we're going to read, and then a few things to talk about.
Twitter questions.
So this guy RSS shooter. I don't know. His name's Ryan, so that works.
Martin? Never mind.
He asks.
I think it's feed shooter.
He asks, RSS shooter. Oh, hey, you made me break. What do you guys think of the Batman Vampire trilogy? And for those unaware, that would be the Batman Dracula Red Rain, Batman Bloodstorm, and Batman Crimson Mist series of Elseworld graphic novels by Doug Munch and Kelly Jones. I've only read the very first one, and I really liked it, but I never read the rest. So I
I
can't
want to say
comment on the
Charlie
rest.
read them. Did you?
I didn't.
It's the kind of thing where I'm pretty sure I've picked up some of that stuff at used bookstores at some point, actually. But yeah, I have so much stuff like that where I sort of flipped through it and whatnot, but never got around to like fully reading it.
So Elseworld is is DC's kind of what if, and in this case, it's a what if Batman got bitten by Dracula, and so he becomes a vampire. Doug Munch did a lot of the Batman comics in the 80s and early 90s, and Kelly Jones did a really long run of Detective Comics, and I love Kelly Jones. A lot of people don't like him because his art's just, I don't know, his Batman can get a little, I don't want to say cartoony. Cartoony is not the right word. Just like too exaggerated. Batman's cape like wraps around buildings and shit, but it's a really cool style. I've always liked his books. I remember reading the first one years and years and years ago. I liked it. I don't remember too much about it, and I never read the other two, so I cannot comment on the rest.
I know the first one they turned into a figure and also into a statue.
Oh yeah, and I mean they've had like Vampire Batman stories and like Batman the Brave and the Bold and
Yeah,
it's
been around for a while.
definitely a very popular image.
Yeah.
I've seen over the years.
Thank you.
Really a Batman.
Stefano M. Who is one of my frequent Twitter guys. I talk to him all the time. He asks, should New 52 readers check out Blackest Night due to the reappearance of Black Hand and Green Lantern and his continuity?
You should just check it out because it's awesome.
Right, and that would be a big yes. Green Lantern, kind of like Batman, has not really changed since pre-New 52, so highly recommend all the Green Lantern, as we said, but especially the Blackest Night titles. So could not to recommend more. All right. Anyone else got anything? That's it for Twitter questions. Only a couple. If you want to follow us on Twitter and send us questions before the podcast, we record Monday nights. That'd be cool, and we talk about it on the air. So anyone can do that if they want.
And if they're Green Lantern related, you will always make my day.
We'll more than likely ask them. So. Well, we got a few things to talk about this week. Not much, though. Kind of quiet. So, Avengers vs. X-Men number 6 has hit the shelf.
Yes, it did.
I know we were all pretty meh on 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I have not read 6 yet, but I'm hearing that 6 is a bit of a change.
Yeah, actually,
Let's hear it.
I hated the direction that it seemed to take in number 5 with the whole Phoenix Corps, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
But no, the number 6 completely sort of turned me around. I enjoyed number 6 immensely. The art was definitely a step up. The story actually made sense. It made sense that, the X-Men aren't bad guys. They wouldn't start doing bad guy things just because they had Phoenix powers now. So I kind of like the fact that they seem to be in some semblance of control at this point and are going around basically trying to fix the world. And it's actually one of the most interesting things is it seemed more people were kind of siding on the Avengers side that were questionable before issue 6. But because the X-Men started going around and basically fixing things, everybody's like, so why are the Avengers still freaking out? They're not doing anything wrong. We let Thor walk around with all his power, so why are we... So more and more people start defecting to basically the X-Men side because they don't see this as a big threat anymore.
2 words: Jean Grey. And when she had the Phoenix Force all in one entity,
Yeah.
you know, she went dark, she went evil. That's the only reference they have right now, unfortunately.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, the Phoenix has been around off and on. I mean, Rachel had it. I mean, it had some issues here and there, and I mean, Jean had it plenty of times, and yes, completely possible to go dark with it, with darker impulses and all that. But I mean, even the Dark Phoenix saga, there was a lot of manipulation going on there to bring out more of the dark side. And
No, I agree, Charlie. The issue completely, for me. I mean, I wasn't picking it up before, but this issue made me interested in what was going on. It made me go, oh wow, this is an event book. This is actually a story that I want to get behind and maybe keep reading. Versus everything that we got prior, which was, oh hey, Avengers assemble, let's fight the X-Men. Oh blah 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 blah.
Do any of you think those first 5 issues were just the most padded filler? There was so
what
little.
What bothered me the most about the first 5 issues just had to do with inconsistency in characters. I mean, I know I said time and time again people weren't acting like themselves, but I mean, it was really across the board. It wasn't just like one character I could go, that doesn't seem quite right for him. It wasn't just one character was acting forced, but it seemed like across the board characters were acting forced, trying to sort of start this big crossover, big event book. They were having to sacrifice character for story. And this issue, for me, one of the big ways it sort of finally recovered from that to a degree is the fact that everybody at this point seems to be acting somewhat in character in this issue. I didn't really feel like... I felt the X-Men characters, the ones that were defecting, everything that was going on, all made sense. The way that basically Cap still wants an ace in the hole if they go dark. It wasn't like he was attacking the members of the X-Men with the Phoenix Force directly. It was more just, I need an ace in the hole. I'm not going to interfere with what they're doing right now. But if this goes bad, I want to be prepared.
Well, I think that for at least me, Cap is still out of character. Like, to me, that's more of a Nick Fury kind of thing, where you're playing all the angles and making sure you got all your bases covered. Whereas Cap's more of the soldier that he's the one that goes into battle and jumps in the fight and is ready to go, and he's prepared. But it's one of those things where Cap right now is in that awkward.
Well, I guess here's the way I look at it. Cap, as of right now, basically, is still really running things. I mean, Nick Fury's still doing his Black Ops, everything. Cap's pretty much responsible for keeping the world turning on more than just the Avengers get called in to deal with this threat. He's got to be a little more preemptive now than he has been in the past based on what his position is now.
But, I mean, I think it's more along the lines of, since I'm not reading Avengers and I'm not reading Secret Avengers, I'm not reading New Avengers, I'm not reading any of those books because those books are the ones that are kind of giving us this Cap. And also the Cap book itself is a little bit...
I was going to say just the Cap book itself is the only one that's really delved into... I mean, there's been a little bit here and there when he first started, took over, and they kind of had to establish, okay, this is what the New Avengers is now, this is that stuff. But, I mean, Cap's not really in any of those crossover issues with the AVX. It's just sort of keep in mind that, I mean, he's the one that reports at this point to the president. He's the one that...
Yeah, this isn't the pre-siege Cap, before he was...
No.
This is definitely after he's been in S.H.I.E.L.D. He's been running S.H.I.E.L.D. for a while.
I get it enough to know where it's going, but I think a lot of people may be jumping in on this. It might seem still out of character for a Cap that they don't, a Cap that they remember. Because it's definitely not the Cap that we know before he was, killed. And
he's changed a lot in the last year. He's changed a lot in the last year and a half. So
But yeah, much. I don't know. This book was
But,
a
I mean,
far better improvement over
Art-wise,
the
too.
last
Huh?
five. Oh,
Yeah.
art-wise, God,
The
they
only,
need to fire Romero Jr. or whatever his name is.
The only problem I had with the art was just when they all basically go to try and get Hope, and they're all wearing those weird, bulky Phoenix outfits over their normal costumes. That looked really weird and stupid.
Now, Toby, did you like the blatant ripoff of the Nightwing armor?
I don't care because I don't like that Nightwing.
You're not.
That's not his Nightwing.
That's not my Nightwing.
You're the disco disco or nothing.
Absolutely, man.
Now
No.
that disco costume, did he have the high heel platform shoes with that?
He could have.
I'm a big fan of the Phoenix Force.
It'd be really in this area. Just letting you guys know.
I'm a big fan of the Phoenix Force. I don't like that I split it up, but like I said, they've split it up before apparently. So I'm really waiting to see where this goes.
And by before, I mean flashback in a recent issue of
Yeah.
one of the ones, not like before this event. At least not that I know of before this event.
Hopefully the next few issues keep up the quality and ends on a bit of a high note because
Then I will be
Because those first,
ranting and raving for the hardcover.
Were they going to go for 12 or what were they?
it's 12 issues.
There are 12 issues and 6 of the verse.
I'm sorry, they did split it up. The Cuckoo triplets.
Oh, yeah.
All three
That's
of them.
right.
Where the
During War
during
Song?
War Song or End Song, one of the two.
Yeah. I think it
Yeah,
was War
so
Song.
that was the last time that was split.
yeah.
Well, there was those couple
The
Phoenix
miniseries.
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 Which,
Mark
didn't they
Silvestri.
just put out in like a single trade, or is in a
Yes,
single trade
yes,
of
they
it
did. They
coming
just
out?
collected it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So if you're interested in those, which those are good reads, contact Ryan.
Yes. Do I even have
You
it?
know how many people listen to this podcast and hate us because of the amount of money that they want to spend from what we talk about?
No one. Brock,
Yes.
you want to talk some before Watchmen comedian number one?
Well, no, we've been talking about that stuff, so I figured it was
Sure.
part of the news.
Okay.
I mean,
I haven't read it yet.
I read it.
did.
I mean, I wasn't overly impressed with it.
This is apparently the Brock and Toby or Brock and
because we're the only two people that read comic books at your store.
look.
Hey,
Jesus.
I read my Watchmen stuff last week, but some guy didn't care about my opinion. So why do the homework?
No, we were going to talk about comedian. We'll talk about the other one too.
So
Silk Spectre.
I mean, it was kind of an interesting take, but I wasn't wowed by the comedian. I mean, it was okay. It didn't grab me like I was grabbed more by the Silk Spectre story.
Well, the Silk Spectre story was definitely really good, but I actually really liked the comedian story, especially with the way they sort of set it within a certain period and the events that were happening during that period of time. I thought that actually made it a very deeper book than I was expecting, because I mean, what I remember of the comedian and everything, I don't take that character very seriously. He's the typical anti-hero, and I wasn't expecting a story with as much depth as it had by setting in that particular time period and stuff. So I actually thought they did a really good job with that.
Cool. Well, what about the upcoming ones? Which ones are people looking forward to? Because Rorschach's the one that I think everyone's going to look forward to.
Well, I'm just
everything
waiting to
else?
see what happens with Straczynski's,
Oh yeah, he's got a
especially
couple.
since he's the one that had fun getting all the hatred from his comments and everything.
Yeah. But it could be good. I mean, JMS does good stuff when he's when he's in the mood for it. So I think
I don't have a problem with him at all.
I think it's going to be good to have him do some more books, because outside the Superman run that was just kind of aborted. Mm-hmm. They just didn't really. He hasn't done much recently. What else has he done besides Superman?
Well, I mean,
New
there
Earth
was-
2's coming out.
yeah.
Superman Earth 2.
Right.
And I remember when he left Superman, it was because he supposedly was going to do more direct graphic novel work, and now we've been waiting for a while. Yeah.
Well, we're finally getting the Earth 2 Batman.
Oh, I can't wait.
Or Earth 1 Batman, I mean. So.
I can't wait for that. I am excited for his follow-up one to the Earth 1 Superman number 2. I mean, both of those look like they're going to be phenomenally good books to pick up.
Yeah, it should be fun.
Well, I mean, he does really well when he's allowed to kind of just finish a story and not stretch it out for so long. Like that.
Midnight Nation was awesome. Midnight Nation.
I haven't read it, but I've
Oh my
heard
god!
good things.
Fantastic book. Fantastic.
Rising Stars.
Yeah.
That was very good.
But you look at like a couple when he was doing those Brave and the Bold issues where there was just the single stories. He had the really good one with Batgirl, Zatanna, and Supergirl.
I loved his issues of Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, those little like one shot kind of story. Those were amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't actually get around to reading those.
Oh, they're
Shame
all
on
good.
me.
It's collected in the Brave and the Bold team-ups.
Yes.
The 2-part Legion and Doom Patrol issues. Those were probably my favorite.
Yeah, those
I
were.
really.
I wonder why.
I love the Legion. I can't help it. No, but it's really funny.
No, you just like DP. Take that out however you want, people.
I do like Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol is really good. Apparently, totally out of nothing to do with anything. We've said just Doom Patrol makes me think of the Metal Men because they're both kind of weird teams. Apparently, they're making a Metal Men movie.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
How random. That's cool. I love the Metal Men. They should make more movies like this. The Metal Men are like, for people that don't know the Metal Men, they're basically like these 5 wacky robots that are like...
And everybody likes us some wacky robots.
I actually remember the first time I read them. It was in an Outsider's book.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever read about them and where I got to find out about them and stuff like that.
It was their tin, platinum...
Tin, platinum, iron,
Mercury?
Iron,
Is it
copper,
Mercury?
and mercury. Yeah. They've had others come in, so...
They've released like almost half of the DC Universe figures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've done a lot of them.
Some of them are. I've read a couple stories. Some of them were good. Some of them were a little like campy and like
Well,
crazy.
of course.
Well, that's the
But-
same of like every comic out there.
The Metal Men backup
Thanks.
that was in the most recent series of Doom Patrol was oh my god, I loved it so much. It was really funny, and I don't know because it's a guy that did Justice League International. It's Keith Giffen and Kevin McGuire did the art. Really liked that. That was really funny, and if they can make it funny, and this is. I've talked about the comic book movies before. As much as I'm happy for like Batman's, Superman's, and Spider-Man's, I'd love to see some of these little guys kind of get their shot at the screen. They don't have to be $200 million movies. They could be cheaper movies. They can do something just kind of keep the franchises going. You know,
They could very easily take a Metalman and turn it into a cartoon. I mean, that would be
absolutely.
very. I'm sure that would be very popular.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
They just wouldn't form a big giant metal man. But hey,
This isn't Voltron, but yeah.
They could do whatever they want.
I think
Metal Men are
they
cool.
formed a big metal man when they were in Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, they always do.
Yeah.
oh,
Well,
geez.
also, what was is there another?
If the Muppets do it, the Metal Men can do it.
Anybody can do it.
Isn't there another movie I heard something about today? Was there more talk of
Daredevil?
an Ant-Man movie? Am I hearing
Well,
more?
I did see something today about Ant-Man getting one step closer to happening. But that's
whatever.
the typical one step closer.
Yeah, sure.
They never tell us when it takes 3 steps back. They
Yeah,
just say when
yeah,
it takes
yeah.
1 step
It's
closer.
one step closer, 3 steps.
Well, we're like 3 weeks away from Batman, 3-4 weeks away from Batman. Spider-Man's, what, week and
1
a half?
week away?
Fuck yeah!
I know Toby's super excited for Spider-Man.
Fuck yeah!
Yeah, so I don't know. It's gonna be. We're gonna have a lot of comic movies coming out this summer. I mean, you've already had what feels like a lot with Avengers.
And there's going to be a Comic-Con between those
And-
2 movies.
That's right.
Comic-Con. I'm not even going, and it's like just stress of Comic-Con just weighing down on
Oh
me.
God! You went last year,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, I'm just starting the blog. I'll sit on these websites and look at all the stuff coming out.
you know what?
And it's a lot of fluff.
That's what I was going to say. The last few years have not been. There's no news out of Comic Con anymore. There really isn't. And little things here and there. But most of the people, they have their own. These companies have their own way to promote their own product, and they don't need Comic Con anymore.
I want to go to Comic Con because that's where they preview all the new toys, all the new
Yeah.
statues,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
the new pre-productions.
Yeah, if you could see
everything, all the
Should I
new,
be
all the
sending those
props,
to you on
everything.
Facebook?
What's that?
Should I be sending those to you on Facebook?
Absolutely. Yeah.
If I could have some sort of like 1 foot wide, or 2 feet wide bubble around me in every direction, Comic Con would be fantastic. It's just when you're sitting there like
You want to be a bubble boy?
like a sardine.
He needs Brainiac's belt, shield belt. That's
Yeah.
what he needs.
Ryan's trying to shield himself from all the
or
odors.
just the Legion ring. I'll just hover above everyone and just float around. It's just too much. It's really hard to see anything at Comic Con. It really
You just
is
need to be
hard.
taller.
Yeah,
Platform shoes.
trust me. Like my girlfriend, when she was there, she was like, "This is okay, but I really can't see anything." And I'm like, "Man, if you're a kid or heaven forbid under 6 feet tall, you're not seeing a damn thing. It's rough."
Charlie's smiling, by the way, right now. Just so you guys know. Just so you guys know.
9 feet tall. He's freaking a nunchucks and just like, I can see everything from up here. So
You know what's funny, Ryan, is that I actually have a Green Lantern ring and a Legion ring in my backpack right now.
Let's
But
do it.
Unfortunately, powers do not come with it.
Yeah,
So-
let's power him up. And let's
Well,
fly.
it's funny. Whenever I'm supposed to, see Charlie at Comic-Con, all I have to do is look up, and I'll see a head floating above all the other heads. I'm like, there he is!
Yeah, just my head.
You're the
my
floating
body
head.
goes the other. No.
Well, what's great about Comic-Con is if you want to know anything about the comics, you go to the empty section of the convention hall. That's where all the comics are. If you want anything that has to do with
Not.
it was when I was there on Saturday and Sunday, it was a lot lighter. A lot lighter. Not compared over by the
Okay.
Capcom booth and
If
over
you-
by. No, it was nowhere near as bad.
It all
No,
depends on
actually, you
who's
should go to
signing
the
at the time.
indie section. That's even lighter there.
The indie section, though, last year they sandwiched right next to the video game section. It was a fucking disaster.
No, that's not the real indie section.
No, oh yeah,
The real indie section on the other side.
Wow.
See, you didn't get the real
That's-
Comic Con
that's the
experience.
Artist
You
Alley
didn't go around with Toby.
yeah, the Artist Alley
No,
section.
I'm talking about the indie section.
Did they have it in the
Yes,
section now?
see, you don't even know.
The Artist
That's why
Alley,
it's empty.
the Artist Alley and all the indie guys I saw were at the entrance on the far, I think,
Left.
east side.
Well,
Yeah,
when
the
you're
far-
looking
the-
at it, it's on
right,
the left.
the far
That's
left.
Artist Alley.
Right, the
on the
far
other
east
side,
side.
on the right-hand side, you got the independent publishers.
Okay.
Okay, well,
On the other side of
Small
DC
press.
and-
Basically,
that's
small
where all the
press.
tumbleweeds are.
yeah.
Doesn't matter because he's not going this year.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's just hating right now.
Toby's
I'm not
going.
hating.
Oh, I'm going.
it's-
And Charlie's going, and you guys are
Omar's
doing.
going.
You guys are, and Omar's going, and you guys
Well,
are going to
Omar
try
doesn't have
and
a pass right now, so we have to figure out what we're doing with him.
just throw him in the.
I keep
luggage.
telling him he needs to just show up in his stormtrooper costume and just walk
just
in.
walk next
like
to
with,
the other
with the other
stormtroopers.
stormtroopers.
That would have been good right now until you said it right now.
No, well, it'll be an experiment. Actually, well, let's just be an experiment. See, what we
I
get
like
away.
better the idea of Omar doing the zombie run in the stormtrooper costume.
That'd be awesome if you. Yeah, well, Omar's supposed to be here tonight, so I could call him out and see who would do it with us. I'm actually surprised. Charlie here just said he would join me, which is awesome. So I got me, Nate, Charlie, maybe Omar, maybe Betty.
So this is for the Walking Dead zombie marathon.
Absolutely, we're gonna start
Zombie-
the party here at Comics Conspiracy for a midnight release.
Oh yeah.
We got all kinds of covers. We got nice bundles. Give the prices right now, Ryan.
For those that are interested in Walking Dead number 100, we'll have the 8 covers here at the store. You can pre-order this on our site, comicsconspiracy.biz, or you can visit us at the store for a midnight sale. $24.99 for all 8 covers, $32.99 for all 8 covers and the Chromium
And
variant.
we've been selling them too.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, we're
So
about.
if you want them, you should get in.
I did look at your eBay sale. I did look at the eBay sale for the limited one.
Yeah, we're gonna sell those a little cheaper in store.
Oh, okay.
So if you're interested,
If any
in
last.
200, if any last, yeah, we'll see.
But yes,
I'm
we're
watching
gonna.
to see if they sell. That's what I want to watch.
But yeah, we're gonna start the party here, and then on Friday the 13th, hopefully, we'll be doing the zombie obstacle course at Petco Park.
Nice.
Should be a lot of fun.
It's all about coordination at Comic Con.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun. You have to tweet out some pictures when you're doing it.
Pictures.
Yeah, you got to send
I
lots
got
of
to do
pictures.
video.
There's
man.
gonna be video of my wiener swinging left and right. No, maybe not.
Why
Depends
is your
on how
wiener?
drunk
Wow.
Well, if he starts drinking Tuesday, by Friday he's going to be pretty drunk. So
Hammered.
Well, that's what Ryan thinks, because Ryan still thinks I was really hammered when I went at him last year, but I wasn't. I didn't even start yet at that point.
you and Omar were.
We didn't even start yet.
You don't need to start then. If that's the case.
See, that's what I just need to go down a party. I don't
There's
even need to
plenty
go-
of party.
I don't even need to go into the con. I just need to go party.
So do it.
Yeah, you can hang out and never even enter the convention and see everything you need. So trust me, the only thing that happens inside the convention is they take your money.
Yeah,
Like,
I know that all too well.
Oh, they'll take your money outside of the
It's like going to a
convention, too.
strip club.
That's any convention.
No,
That
going to
doesn't matter.
Comic Con is like going to a strip club. It's like, oh shit, here's my $100. It's not a $5,
Yeah,
it's
but
not
they
a
don't
20,
ask
it's a
for
100.
ones.
yeah. Well, let's talk about some cartoons that aren't comic books, but are heavily influenced by comic books. And Brock can get all pissed off because we're not talking about comic books.
Just say, welcome to the cartoon conspiracy.
Yeah. So let's talk about a cartoon featuring almost every DC superhero. The last episode written by Peter David, a longtime comic
Peter
book
David
writer.
wrote it?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wait, this is the animated episode of Bang Bang 3?
On Cartoon Network on DC Nation's block, which is DC Comics, which is a comic book. So, Brock, here
Rock
we go.
is just jelly. He's not watching it.
Young Justice is a fantastic show, Brock.
Oh,
you
yeah.
really should watch it.
Okay, I'll watch it when it comes out on DVD.
It might be too late.
Well,
at that
did you
point.
start the first season?
No.
It
Well,
is
then
out on
obviously
DVD.
that's not a good criteria
I'll
for
watch it
you.
if somebody loans it to me.
So, Young Justice is during its mid-season break right now. Young Justice Invasion, which is season 2, and holy poop, the last 2 episodes
Holy poop.
were amazing.
Holy!
Really? Holy poop?
It's white.
Really?
It's white?
The last 2 episodes
Bird
were
shit?
so good.
Yes.
And I'm so mad. I spaced the last couple of weeks. I just didn't get around to watching them. And Toby and Charlie have been bugging me for weeks to watch this.
Because
Yes.
there's a podcast that we record on Monday nights, and we like to talk about it on time.
I've heard about this.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 2 episodes back, it sucks, first of all, because now they're in repeats, and they're actually repeating the shorts as well that are in between the episodes. So that sucks.
They're repeating the shorts, too.
Yeah.
Because they were new last week, right?
No. They haven't even finished the Sword of the Atom. The last 2 weeks
Oh.
have gone in repeats.
And
See, that
you
right
guys
there
gave
would
me
be a
bad
reason.
information last week.
Yeah, last week he said they were new, while the episodes were...
It was new during the repeats of Green Lantern.
Yes.
When Young
Yeah.
Justice went to repeats, it was all the shorts were repeats.
It's
as
new
well.
to him.
Oh, great.
So I'm still TiVoing them and fast forwarding, and I'm like, already
Just to
seen
make
this
sure
one.
you don't miss them out.
See, I
Yeah.
would watch it just for the Sword of the Atom. And I would.
They're good.
I really
Yeah.
enjoy that.
They're good. But so 2 episodes ago for Young Justice was the All Flash episode, which was the one written by Peter David, which that was awesome.
Yes.
That was pretty darn cool.
We get Impulse from the future back to save Barry, and Wally's there. Now kind of retired, but kind of come back.
Is this
Semi-retired.
And we get Jay Eric as well. So we get
Yep.
all four of the main Flashes. And even this Barry kind of being retired, or Wally being retired. I mean, this kind of happens in the comics too. Wally, not when Impulse is there and everything, but pre-Crisis, Wally kind of retires as Kid Flash for a while. So this kind of works as an adaptation of what happened in the comics.
Echoes the comics.
He needed
Plus-
to find his own in the Speed Force. Okay.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, it
disappeared.
really helped move the story forward with what happens in the next episode after that.
Right.
so.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And then this mid-season finale.
Fucking A, so good!
Spoilers for people. They send in an all-girl Young Justice team, which is badass.
Yes.
Right? That was really cool. I'm sure Toby was like, it's Wonder Girl and Batgirl. And
Fuck yeah!
it was a Wonder Girl, Batgirl.
Martian.
Oh yeah, Miss Martian and what's her
And
face?
Nightwing was leading the fucking team. Just tells you how badass he is.
Well, they play up that Nightwing's been leading all the teams. for a
Yeah.
while.
No, but he's leading the all-girl team.
Right.
Evidently,
Of course he is.
Bumblebee. Bumblebee was the fourth one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then, we get that they kill Arrowette, who
Yes.
kind of comes back for one more mission. And the all-girl team was in the was that in the episode prior or was I'm sorry.
Wasn't Superboy in that?
That is the all-girl team, right? Because I'm sorry, in this episode, this is the one where they're trying to protect the Martian space flight.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm
because
sorry.
Superboy is in that one, isn't he? Yeah.
Right, it's Superboy and Arrowette.
See, it's been so long for me,
Nightwing.
I don't even remember it correctly anymore.
It's been 12 hours for me, and I still don't remember it. So,
It's bad. Horrible.
But you remember it being awesome, and that's all that really.
No, I got the episodes mixed up. Were the other
So
teams
Nightwing
going.
wasn't leading the very cool all-girl team. Did he?
No.
He sort of was. He's the
So
one
let
that
me-
sent
Well,
him
he
on the
leads
mission.
all the teams.
Right.
So all the girls got in front of an intercom, and Nightwing's all, "Hey, girls," and he sent them off on a mission.
Kind of.
So Arrowette's there, but Speedy's not.
Yeah.
No?
Well,
Well,
No.
That's complicated.
Spoilers!
there are
I haven't
possibly
seen one episode. I have not seen one episode.
There's 2 Speedies,
yes.
kind of, but they leave that really unclear. The
What do you mean?
The clone and Cheshire rescue Roy Harper. They
Yeah.
show them go to him, and then the only thing we see is in the next episode. He's like, "Oh, he's recovering." They don't show that it's actually him and the thing. It feels like a step got missed.
Doesn't really throw me. I mean, they basically recovered him, and
If there's a step that got missed, I have to say about this show, doesn't matter because they'll fill it in later on. Because everything they makes you go, I wonder, or I wonder what happened there. It seems like they go in, they set it up for a lot of bigger things in the end.
Yeah.
So I would not be surprised if something bugged you there. That I wouldn't surprise me if they come in later and go, bam.
Yeah. Well, they kill Artemis, Arrowhead Artemis,
Which
whatever you
was
wanna call
one
it.
hell of a scene.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially who killed her.
Right. Well, it's killed by Calderar. It was
It was
Aqualad.
Aqualad, the original leader of the team. And that was one badass scene.
He's been shown this whole second season as being, now a villain. He's working with Black Manta and just, super, super crazy. But then the very, very end, the last 2 minutes of the show, again, huge spoilers for the mid. It's who is it? It's Nightwing. Wally, who was kind of retired. And actually, they called back to the previous episode in that. Artemis and is it Martian or who's the fourth?
No, that's
it's
it.
Cal.
There's Calder.
Yeah. Cal.
Oh, whoa, right, of course.
Wait, I thought Artemis was dead.
She wasn't
Spoiler.
dead. Right. He
was.
faked her death. They basically made it so now she's undercover with
He was already undercover.
Yeah.
He faked her death so he can now bring her undercover with him with
The amulet.
an amulet that they got from Zatanna that changes her appearance.
so the four of them, not even the Justice League. There, so everyone
Nobody
thinks-
knows. It's a Nightwing, total Black Ops Nightwing
Right,
mission, which
right,
I
right.
love.
Right, so-
which really, when watching the episode and Artemis got killed, I was like, oh shit! But not on Nightwing's watch. That shouldn't happen. Nightwing
Well-
is such a tactician that shouldn't happen on his mission. And lo and behold, he planned for it all, which made it just even more awesome.
Maybe this is just my brain overdoing it to a degree, but if that had happened in a comic book, I would have had some level of belief, but because it happened during a DC Nation block being pushed towards kids on Saturday morning,
It was kind of a
having
wish and stuff.
a character that was a good guy in the first season that they just switched to a bad guy kill another main character from the first season didn't add up to me that they get away with
Now,
that.
so it's very interesting because when the fake death happened, that actually the first time that made me think maybe he is a bad guy now. Because up till that point, I'm like, he's freaking deep undercover. Something is a little off here. Something is not right.
Well, that's the whole idea is that when he goes back to Black Manta's like, oh shit, I guess you are bad. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
you're on the team.
And it's really cool because remember when we first watched the pilot, Ryan, and I mentioned when he runs away and they have that scene where Nightwing is the only one away from the team and sees him down in like the sewers.
Right.
And they're about to say something and then boom, Superboy shows up really mad and going, I'm gonna hit you and blah blah this. I always told you I'm very I wanted to know what would have happened there if Superboy never showed up, and now we kind of know.
Right.
Damn that Superboy.
Yes.
Is it me, or does this seem really deep for a kid's cartoon?
It is.
Oh, it's incredibly deep. As I said, my thing is for a kid's cartoon, I really...
You realize that kids don't read comics and kids don't watch cartoons.
Kids are not stupid. Let's just put it that way, so they can.
Plenty of
handle
kids
this.
watch cartoons.
I think kids. I think
Plenty of kids watch Bubble Guppies.
Bubble guppies.
Okay, moving on.
No, not moving on. We're trying to get my young.
Apparently, Charlie knows what bubble guppies is. So.
Whoa.
No.
Kids over the age of 6 watch good cartoons. I did. We all did.
Hey, I just raised my kids on Batman the Animated Series and stuff like that.
And look how they
Justice
turned
League,
out.
Justice League, Unlimited,
Yeah, all that stuff.
X-Men. Yeah.
But yeah, Young Justice. Who knows when the next episodes will be on? I guess. And I
We'll be
was
talking
wrong.
about them when they are, though.
And I guess I was wrong a couple weeks ago. We were talking that I didn't know if they were going to do any more Green Lantern, but I guess we are getting 13 more episodes. So that's awesome. I had no idea. So hopefully they both come back at the same time and just
Yeah.
finish them out.
I love the Green Lantern. I'm actually getting sucked into the Young Justice. I wish it was on the whole thing was on DVD right now, but
it is
Well,
so
young, just
good.
almost all of season 1 is, I think, if not all. It's just
Well,
all broken
I
up
think
in
they-
stupid pieces. It's
I
not
think
in
they
one
did
nice
the
set.
typical
Are they
crappy
streaming?
cartoon releases of they did put out like one
5
disc with
episodes and
5 or
then-
6, and they did another disc of 5 or 6.
Are they
If I
streaming?
recall, they then announced they're doing the final 13 or whatnot in one release, though. So the first season is either already all the way out or about to finish out.
Are they streaming on Netflix or do they have them on the
check.
Cartoon Network site or anything?
I think they might have a limited amount of them on the Cartoon Network site, if I
Okay.
recall. But
But boy, that
there's
second
nothing on
season, though,
Netflix
I
or
mean-
anything yet.
The first season is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
And that second season just took it to like another level. It's
Yeah.
almost like what Justice League Unlimited did to Justice League.
Yeah.
It took it to another
I
level.
really enjoyed Justice League Unlimited, and I wish DC would just keep them putting them out just like that. You know, that style was just awesome.
Go buy those Young Justice toys. That's all I'm saying. Just go buy them.
Yeah.
If you could find them, and they're $30.
Yeah. Well, I think they're already starting to be on clearance.
Oh, okay.
Kind of gives you a bad outlook on the cartoon, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, tangentially related to comic books, but it's close enough. We've talked about it a few times. Toby, you finished Korra?
Fuck yeah.
Now, you're going to have to...
Not only I did, so did Charlie. And
Yep.
I have to say, Charlie is my Korra sponsor. I have to officially announce this. If it wasn't for Charlie, I probably would not be on top of it. But every Saturday, I'll bike to his house like a little kid. I watch Saturday morning cartoons like a little kid.
Now, I have to ask. So I have not seen Avatar. It's on my list.
fuck is wrong with you?
Korra is coming. It's going to happen as soon as I finish Avatar. As soon as I start Avatar. So
You haven't even started Avatar yet.
no, I haven't. I'll burn through them. Don't worry. So I have no idea what this is in reference to or anything. I don't know. I haven't seen Korra. I don't know the quality of the show, but I didn't notice because it was Saturday. Was the last episode,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I noticed a couple messages and people on Twitter and a couple threads and comments kind of being like, well, despite all its problems, the finale of Korra was pretty good. Do you know?
What problem?
I have no idea. That's I saw it multiple times, so that's kind of why it's
These
stuck
kids
in
are
my
smoking
head.
some funny pipes these days, man.
Was there stuff that people didn't like about it, or was there some?
Well, the impression I got, and this is something Toby and I talked a little bit about, is the original Avatar show was
Epic.
epic. It had quite a few episodes per season. It had a lot of what you would call sort of like character filler. So, like, when it wasn't just pushing the story along, you'd have an episode about different characters, and it may even just be the little animals they travel with.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they were always very enjoyable and very character-driven, where Korra, because it's a less episodes per season,
I wanna say the
literally
original-
just kind of went,
Yeah, the story just
Boom.
went through.
like, really fast. I mean, I commented, like, by the third or fourth episode that I couldn't believe the pace of this show moving things forward that fast.
Well, that's
Yeah.
good. I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Well, yeah, but
it
it
depends.
also-
It depends, right? So on Dollhouse, I felt like when they announced the show was ending, and they decided to move on the entire show in like speed time, I felt it helped the show because it got far more interesting because things weren't getting stringed
Yeah.
along anymore. Now on Korra, I feel like you cut down a show that's usually 24 episodes, and I could be wrong about the actual number, but it used to be a 20-something episode
22,
series.
24s. Typical.
Yeah, well, on the original show, it was like
On
22
Avatar,
something,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now it's 12. That means you took about 8 to almost half the episodes away, which in the original one is such an epic show because you see him go through all the trials, he learns, he meets people that affect his decision making of how he sees the world and stuff. It seems like that's no longer in this cartoon anymore because it's almost like, hey, we got 12 episodes, let's not fuck it up. Let's just fucking go through the whole story. Like, boom.
Yeah.
Like when me and Charlie were watching, like I said, by episode 6, Charlie was like, oh shit, a lot of shit's happened in these 6 episodes. And it seems like if we missed the episode, we actually would have missed a lot in the story.
And because the story pushes along so quickly, there's certain side stories that worked better than others for sure.
Because I feel
But-
like we didn't actually get to see Korra learn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of felt like they sacrificed a certain amount of character growth to push the story along.
Well, what about the other show that there? I mean, is there another Avatar coming, or is it another season of Korra?
There's another season
Another
of
season
Korra
of
coming.
Korra.
Okay.
And that's the only thing they know about.
But is this like a half season, or is this?
No, this is it. This is it.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
just a short run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what I was telling Charlie was, I mean, I think we actually came to the same agreement. I didn't like the end. I almost wanted the show to end about 5 minutes before it ended,
Okay.
which I kind of see why the end. So, spoilers, it ends on a good note. And the 5 minutes before that good note happens, it's a really downer. And I feel like it would have been better if they left it on the downer and left it for the next season to pick up and maybe build up. But it just happened a little too fast for me.
In a odd way, it almost felt that like Korra was almost intended to be like a mini series. Like they had this story they were prepared to tell. And the thing about the original Avatar and the way it was epic, the way that they wanted things to end was clear from the beginning, and the way the journey was laid out was clear from the beginning. So it didn't really go on too long because, like, I guess the easiest way to say this is for those who didn't watch Avatar at all, the whole idea of the Avatar is there's these 4 different, I guess, elements that these things called benders can do. You have your earth benders, your water benders, your air benders, your fire benders. And these people basically have the power to manipulate those elements completely, pretty much. And the Avatar is the only one in the world who can actually manipulate all 4. So when Avatar started, he was already a master of airbending. In fact, he was the last airbender, hence the Avatar, the Last Airbender name. But the first story was about his journey learning how to do water. Then the second story was his journey learning how to do earth. And then the final chapter was his journey learning how to do fire so he could defeat the show's big bad, basically. And that was sort of laid out from the very beginning. There were a couple of times when they kind of, I don't want to say gave the option for shortcuts, but there were always like the typical way of, okay, we might be able to stop him now if we do X, but it never works out, of course. But that was always really laid out from the beginning. It was definitely one of those shows that felt like this show is intended to go 3 seasons, and that's all they did, regardless of how popular it was. Where Korra doesn't really have that kind of mission statement when it starts.
Yeah,
She's already mastered 3 of the elements. The only one she hadn't mastered was air, which is why this one was called, the book 1 for Korra was called Air. But now that we've finished book 1,
where does the show go?
Yeah, it doesn't have a mission statement.
Here's what I think might have been going on too. Since I always wonder if Avatar: The Last Airbender, they were wanting to go another season, and Nickelodeon said no, or who knows what happened there, right? I almost feel like they were maybe afraid to set it up for even a grander story. That where they like, hey, if this show ends on this episode, we're happy with it. And it does have that kind of feel to it. If there's no more Korra from now on, the way it ended, it's actually a fairly happy ending to the whole Korra saga, as you will say.
And that was going to be my question. When you said they were all the way down, and at the very end they brought it up, could that have possibly been...
That could have been a whole
ending
season.
If they didn't know they were going to be picked up.
That could have been a whole season.
Yeah, I don't think they knew. I mean, they've been talking about it a little bit in interviews and stuff, that it took them a long time to get these 12 episodes out.
Yeah,
So
and
maybe-
they worked 2 years on these episodes.
So maybe that's why they put that little happy ending at the end, just in case.
And
a lot of stuff doesn't get closure.
Yeah,
So
and-
maybe the first series was really good, had a really good story, really good closure.
But now, see, as a cliffhanger, though, man, Charlie, I mean, I don't know if you agree with me, but, in the end, when she walks out to the ice pillar, and then she gets finally into, spoilers, the Avatar state.
Yeah.
If they just, stop the show, right then, would you be 10 times more excited to watch the next show?
But to me,
It's almost like a lost finale.
But what if there was no
but-
more show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
What
Then,
if there was
you'd be
no more
screwed.
show? Or, I mean, I hate to put it even more bluntly, who knows when the next season of Korra is going to
It
come
is,
out?
yeah,
It's-
and they're working hard on it. So, yeah.
So
mean, it could
I don't
be,
know if that
we-
will be next year, or it could be a year and a half.
It could be
from
the
now,
year
it could
after
be
that,
2
yeah.
years from now, and
I mean, they ended it very safely. What if it never comes back? It would be fine as it is, right?
so and the next season again is going to be a short season. So to a degree, I kind of prefer having it. I'm not a big fan of unresolved endings or sitting on my ass waiting for 2 years for them to resolve a cliffhanger.
I was going to say, I was on the All Talk Watch's Twin Peaks podcast this last week, ended on a giant cliffhanger ending. No resolution series got canceled. I have 2 episodes left of Thundercats to watch. I understand that doesn't wrap up. It's pretty much done. It's not
It doesn't? Yeah,
I-
see,
I-
me and Charlie going through those right now. We're on the
Yeah.
last 2.
I have 2 left as well. So from everything I've heard, they're still not. I mean, there's still
That's too
stuff
bad.
to do.
I don't think they were planning. Yeah, I think they were planning on making a lot more. And
I
toys didn't do well,
a
man.
little while ago, I got
Show is gone.
A little while ago, I got the Pirates of Darkwater box set from the Warner
That
Brother.
didn't go nowhere either.
Oh, they got like a third of the way through it, and then done. No more seasons.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I
happens
love
so
that show
often.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens just so often.
No, so I mean, I'm glad they ended it the way they did. I have no problems with that at all.
Yeah.
I'm very, very much looking forward to what's coming next, especially since Ong's other son is showing up now. Very excited about who he is.
Well, it's not just the cartoons that are getting the cancellations.
Oh,
We're
it's
talking
everything.
full blown TV
Oh,
series.
yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that
yeah,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah,
So
no.
it's really disappointing too. I mean, no closure for fans.
Now,
on all levels.
Well, the thing I don't understand about a lot of the TV cancellations, especially the ones that end on cliffhangers, is a lot of times it's not just like shows that have been on 1 year that this happened to, or 2 years. I mean, sometimes we're talking about shows that have been on the air for like 5 years that don't know it's going to be their last season, and
I know Ryan is going to hate this, but My Name is Earl had that, where the 4th season was, I mean, everything
but-
was great, and then the 4th season just goes
That
died.
show
Just like,
went nowhere, though.
Yeah,
man.
it went-
fantastic first 2 seasons, fantastic, phenomenal,
Yeah.
and then the comedy
final-
was gone.
yeah,
I don't know if they switched writers. I don't know what happened
yeah.
there.
But that last season just went tonk. It died. It fell like it fell like a rock.
Now I wanna thank Cross Hunter here. He's one of our listeners. He tweeted me right before the show. He tweeted me an article that Gene Yang, who is writing the Promise storyline for the current Avatar sequel to the actual series, he's also going to write the sequel after that in comic book form called The Search, which is one of the big questions from the first series is what happened to Zuko's mom, which, funny wise, they actually referenced in the Korra episodes, or maybe it was the forums that referenced it. Might be a little confused on that one, but it is really cool because it's been a question that like recently came up really big, and ta-da, they announced that he's writing the story on that. So that should be really cool.
Those Avatar books by Dark Horse have been so popular.
They're very well. I mean, it's one of those books when you read them, you could see the cartoon in front of your eyes. It's very, very well done.
I mean, is this done with the creators as well? I mean, is this canon?
I think it is. I think it is because they always work together too. Yeah.
Okay. That's
And
cool.
it feels canon. I mean, it's literally it's like in between Korra and the original show.
Right.
But I mean, back to the cartoons and the cancellations and stuff. I mean, you guys have said numerous times that it depends on like the merchandising. It depends on the toys and stuff like that.
Yes,
Well, not with Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon is a little different.
Okay. Oh, what is it with Nickelodeon?
I don't know. Don't ask me.
Nobody knows. It's
well,
like
I mean,
I know
a
something,
lot
but I
of
can't
this
say.
stuff, and I mean, even, and I wonder how this is going to translate to a degree, but even like Disney, Cartoon Network, all those sort of like cable ones don't seem to focus too much on the toys unless it's like Ben 10, obviously Warner Brothers, Cartoon Network,
Ben
that
10's
survives
toys are
on the
like
toys.
nonstop,
Versus stuff like Justice League and stuff that ended early. But then they also have a whole round of stuff like The Kids Next Door and Dexter's Lab and Powerpuff Girls that really didn't see merchandise till much later in their like show run. It wasn't till like the shows just really took off, hugely popular for them, that you start seeing toys.
I have a feeling that Dexter's and Powerpuff are a lot cheaper to produce. Not
Well,
that
yeah,
they're cheaper
but,
in quality,
like-
but definitely they were cheaper to produce, say, than Young Justice.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
But even stuff like Adventure Time, I'm just now starting to see toys come out for that, and it's just starting or just about
Oh,
to start
man.
its 4th season.
Yeah, but that thing is huge right now. It's huge.
Yeah,
but
Adventure Time's
here-
been-
Yeah,
here's
but-
blown up the past year?
yeah.
But that's sort of my point is I don't really grasp what makes certain properties different that way. But you can tell Adventure Time, they had no toy sales to sort of
Yeah.
keep it going. It just got to stand on its own feet. So I don't understand why stuff like Young Justice, Justice League, I mean, so many shows like
Good shows.
Thundercats just fall completely flat.
Well,
and
there's a common denominator in that, and it's called WB.
yeah, but everything on Cartoon Network is WB.
Yeah, I know.
Including
I think
Adventure Time.
there's different divisions in WB, but there's a certain one. It's very, very toy driven, and if the toys don't do well, it's axe and next show comes on and see what else they can put in the Walmart.
Well, there you go. Brock, did you have a pick you wanted to talk about?
Oh, off the top of my head,
It sounded like you sounded earlier like you before we
we haven't
recorded.
done picks. We haven't done picks in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
We gotta get
yeah.
picks, man.
We'll do some picks. We'll do some picks next week. I promise.
Yeah, okay. You're a liar.
You-
Do picks
Yeah,
right
well,
now.
pick one now.
I promise it on
Come
the
on.
air. So
You get your soul pick. Pick it.
My soul pick.
Yeah. Soul pick.
Everyone else has to pick. Jim has to. Jim,
pick.
you're.
I'll pick. I got mine
Jim's
picked.
got to pick. Okay.
All right, go,
pick.
bro.
Okay,
You
come on.
can't pick the Silver Surfer.
Nope.
Come on. I want
The
to hear your
dildo
pick.
man.
Oh, I want the X-Man trade that just came out.
Oh yeah.
It follows the Age of Apocalypse. Nate Gray, his entire series, as short-lived as it was, but it still has Cable in it. And
It was not
ran
short-lived.
for like 80 issues. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, I know that went on forever.
Yeah,
it went on
And he went through that reboot thing when he had the tattoo over his chest and stuff. It kept going through that too.
I didn't pick up those, but I did.
I did.
I really enjoy.
Didn't
the
like the
series.
X on his chest.
I really enjoy the X-Man trade that just came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that also. Another fight.
Another fight.
Not too bad. I'm gonna go walk over there right now and grab it. No, nah. Ryan won't never let me have it.
So, I have a random pick.
Go for it.
Not so random. The most recent issue of Daredevil. I loved the most recent issue of Daredevil.
I haven't read it yet. I heard it's
I think
good.
you loved more than that. I think you loved the most recent issue of Punisher too, didn't you?
Well, yes, I did love the most recent issue
Yeah.
of Punisher.
Because
But
I get the nice thing.
damn, the
Yeah.
Daredevil was awesome.
Charlie gets to chat me on daily basis here, and he just went off going, Daryl, oh my god! And then he goes, Punisher, oh my! It's almost as he's reading them, and then he finishes, puts the book down, and he goes, Toby, oh my god!
See this
Then he reads
splash
the
page
next
on
thing.
page 5.
Like about
Oh my
10 minutes later, he goes, oh my god, Punisher! So yeah, go. Sorry.
Somehow you know exactly what I do at work.
Yes.
You should be tweeting these things. Just
I
Punisher. Oh my god.
I did tweet Daredevil. I did actually tweet Daredevil.
Okay, I didn't see it. 'cause-
At the
We're
Mark
not
Wade.
natural
It got
tweeters
lost
like
in
you
the
are, Brock.
feed.
It feels very bizarre.
But no,
still.
I don't know what it is about Daredevil, but it's almost like the crappier his life gets,
The more interesting
the more
the
I
comic
enjoy
gets.
it.
Yeah, I gotta say though, some of the best Daredevil stories are just some of the most fucked up
severely
stories.
depressing, and
Yeah,
they're just
the one that really stood out
you guys
was like
really like beating on blind people.
no, but
Jeez.
I mean, it's like his life is already so messed up, and he did just like kind of throw him down in the blender, and go like let's see how much further we can push him.
Yeah, that is a classic Daredevil thing. I mean, his life's been a living hell since Frank Miller took over for him, or
Yeah.
took over his book. So
No, like even one that's like not a classic story. I remember like strongly was when he went to this one crazy house, and it's almost like this old guy just
took
wanted.
him-
Is it like this old guy wanted him dead and like manipulate this giant house and all these death traps, and like he had to survive this giant house of death traps. I was like, it's fucked up.
what was your pick, Brock?
Shit, I forgot. No, I'm just kidding. DC Comics presents the Vandal Savage story arc that's going on right now. Very, very good.
Nice. That's a James Robinson one.
Yeah, James Robinson.
Master
on
of
the
the
second
universe.
issue.
That's digital right now, right?
No,
No.
that's not the same.
It's
There's
not
an
the same?
official one coming.
Okay.
That's the Jeff Johns.
Yeah,
Sir,
no, it's-
Sir Mix-a-Lot. Knight.
Jeff Johns, Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Yeah, he's like a knight. He's like a Sir Mix-a-Lot knight guy, like big butts and stuff.
You just said Charlie. Charlie just said what?
I think Charlie just threw up a little in his mouth. No, it's Sir
That he knows
Laser-Lot.
what
It's
that
Sir
song's-
Laser-Lot. It's Sir Laser-Lot. It's
Sir
like
Laser-a-lot?
Laser.
Oh, Laser.
Laser.
I was like, Laser-a-lot. Jesus.
Laser.
And this
It's
is
my
for
bad
kids?
accent, man. I can't help it, man. I'm sorry. Can't
Sir
say
Laser-a-lot.
certain words correctly.
No, but if you want some violence and gore, DC Comics presents with Vandal Savage is intense. It's good stuff.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You can skip that Challengers the Unknown crap.
I think I got one issue left.
Nah.
I got one issue left of that.
The Challengers?
Yeah, it's-
You're forcing yourself to read that?
It's pretty bad.
I jumped off. Like, DC Comics Presents was one title. I'm like, yeah, there might be a number on here, but I don't give a shit. I'm like, I'm just going to get it
Well,
for the...
I liked the Dead Man
The
story.
Dead Man was good.
And then this Vandal Savage is phenomenally good, actually.
Yeah.
Well, Vandal Savage has been around since Cro-Magnon days, so
Yeah.
he's done some serious damage on his way up.
They've already sort of had him in Demon Knights.
Yeah, he's been in
And
Demon
he's
Knights.
kind of doing the whole barbarian thing in Demon Knights. And now in DC Presents, he's doing the Hannibal Lecter thing, actually. So
Well, I think what I like with this new twist in the 52 with his character is that they've gotten away from, yeah, he was a Cro-Magnon, but now he's like this sophisticated, immortal guy that just wants to fuck with people or get this artifact or do this. Like, he always felt like he was on this certain, like, it was this like intelligent level, like he was always fighting Batman. Here it's a little more open to interpretation, where he can, this story he's falling in with.
His intelligence is pretty.
Well, his intelligence is up there. Don't get me wrong, but this one he's falling into the category of, this is something that like Chase, what's her name? Chase, I forget her first name.
Yeah. Cameron
Chase. Yeah. Like, she would have to end up dealing with him at this point, whereas before it was kind of, he was always a Batman villain or one of the higher up, meta-human characters, so to speak. But in this, we're dealing with a barbarian, like you said, in Demon Knight, so you kind of get this one's plotting and being a little outrageous, and then this one's more manipulative and just being not necessarily evil, but he just doesn't give a shit. So
they've talked to his origins before about him possibly being Jack the Ripper. Any place that there was a serial killer or something that supposedly he was around.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they go, oh, look, he was the comedian. Oh, shit.
Awesome.
Ryan.
All right.
Pick something.
No, I got nothing.
Pick something from, like, the Sevens.
The Sevens? That I read. Yeah,
Just pick Green Lantern.
Yeah, or Pluto. Didn't you just finish reading Pluto?
No, I'm still like halfway through that.
Just pick Green Lantern. That's always a good pick.
Did I read anything recently that was really good? What did I read? I've been reading a lot of Marvel, actually, because I've been trying to... I catch up on all those here, and then at home I read all my DCs, so...
So if you guys don't know, Ryan likes to read the bad stuff on time because he doesn't want to pick them up.
Right,
then he saves all the good stuff that he's always behind on for home reading.
Which
And that is not us saying Marvel is bad, except for Brock. Brock will say Marvel is bad. I will not say Marvel is bad.
Shut up, Brock.
No, Marvel is
not now.
horrible.
No.
No.
I did say shut up.
I can respect Ryan's reading order in the sense of he puts the stuff that he doesn't want to take. The stuff that he just wants to kind of read but not necessarily take home. Yeah. And then, the stuff that he likes is more on the bottom. Because, isn't most of us read like that except Charlie. Charlie has to have what he loves first.
Yes.
Because he rereads it at the end because he puts it on the bottom of the pile.
Oh,
right?
I actually didn't know that.
Sometimes,
right.
yes.
See, I knew it.
Yeah.
But you read in the kind of order, like the top, the first stuff you read every week is kind of the stuff that's okay or on the chopping block, and then you move your way down to the good stuff.
I don't know. I'm kind of all over the place.
Ryan's eyeing for his random.
I'm looking at like...
You're desperate, man.
Desiathoris has some nice art in it. I was enjoying that.
Naked girls.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I got nothing. I mean, I've read a bunch of stuff recently, but nothing that stands out. So,
what about that Dig Dug art book? Are you going to pump that when it comes out?
I hope so. Actually, well, here I do have a pick. Me and Jim were talking about this earlier. Two books back in print. One of them been out of print for a long time. At the end of the Avengers movie, a character named Thanos appears. We've talked about on this podcast a couple times. They actually just put back into print all the 90s Thanos books, including Infinity Gauntlet's been in print for.
They got some horrible covers on those.
Ron Lim art, it's actually
Can they just put a cooler cover on that? I want to say the book in the 90s had a way cooler cover than that one.
The new Infinity Gauntlet trade because they just reprinted it has the awesome cover back on it.
Oh, it does?
The Stardust cover?
It doesn't just have the cover of Thanos standing there.
With the black. That was a horrible cover.
It was, yeah. They actually just put that back in. But they also brought it back the Rebirth of Thanos soft cover, which was the Ron Lim Silver Surfer series.
Right.
Cool. From the 90s, where Thanos had been gone for years. And this is the whole thing of him coming back, him getting the gauntlet, him getting all the Infinity Gems, and that leads into
Thanos Quest is in there also.
Thanos Quest is in there, which is like a fully painted,
which is him finding the Infinity Gems. So
That's the other thing I was staring at on Sunday.
Oh, that one?
You guys have staring
I
contests
got the hardcover, which is nice because it's not that cover. It's actually Silver Surfer on the cover of the Rebirth of Thanos, and it's really nice.
That's okay. I'm just waiting for the omnibus where you're really going to
exactly.
I was going to say I picked up the Marvel Masterworks, the Warlock one.
Yeah.
I picked up the Marvel Masterworks. What is it? The other one?
There's two Warlocks in there. Oh,
there's Warlock and Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Right. Those are the first two Thanos stories by Jim Starlin. And now they've done the Silver Surfer and Infinity Gauntlet, so that's basically stories 3 and 4 by Jim Starlin of Thanos. now they can release the hardcover omnibus. Now that I've bought all these for myself, so
Just for you, man.
Right, we're
They
just
know.
waiting.
And me.
They're just waiting.
That's
And me,
why
and
I'm
me.
dragging my feet at the moment because I'm like, the second I give up, the second I take these home,
Yeah, but you have to remember, there's the second
then I'm
did you
supposed
do
to
it-
sacrifice. I'm
This-
supposed to sacrifice for everybody else.
Well, no,
Yes.
the second that you do it right is the second they bring in the hardcover. But if you wait too long, they just OOP it,
Yeah, I know.
right? So that's the catch-22. Is like
That's okay. I'm safe buying the X-Man book because there's no way they're putting that out in an omnibus.
See, that Silver Surfer book has been out in print for such a long time, and those Thanos Quest issues, the Silver Surfer issues are cheap, but those Thanos Quest issues have always been hard to find.
Yeah.
So I just haven't read these.
It was
in
2
years.
books. I mean, it was two
issues.
Small. It was
Thick
two
ones. Yeah.
small graphic novels. It was it
Great
should've
covers
been-
on those too.
Yeah, very nice.
It's all fully painted.
aren't they reprinting those, like single issues?
They're doing like a 2-issue, like a $8
a combined
reprint.
issue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Combined
on
one.
a pair of them. Yeah.
That's not
Okay,
bad.
there's my pick. Toby, did you have anything?
Well, I actually briefly want to say, Charlie, I want you to tell the people what scene you told me about, why you liked that Daredevil. Because you didn't actually say why.
Was it the 2 fingers up on the cover telling Dr.
No.
Brock.
Shut up.
Seriously,
What?
get over it.
It's Disney. They have to put
Okay.
shit in everything.
No, I want you to say why, because it's really
Okay.
interesting.
You want me to say why?
Yes, why?
It's because they. Okay.
Just say it.
Preface is he's in Latveria. He's been gassed. He's trying to escape, and as he's escaping, he's realized the gas is taking away his various senses. So he loses the sense of taste first. Then he starts having trouble with the sense of touch, and then he starts losing his hearing. And so by the end of the book,
He's really blind.
he's completely blind. He has none of his senses. He has no like at the end of the book, he actually thinks he escaped, and he's lying there on the ground, still in.
I mean, that's a fantastic Daredevil story.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just want to I wanted Charlie to say that. My pick will be very interesting. I will pick and be a cock out. I will pick Brave movie.
What?
Yes, because and I'll tell you why. I have a comic reason why I'm picking it right now. A lot of people actually didn't like it. I really, really loved it. It hit a certain nail for me. The reason why I did, I find it has a lot of Asterix humor in the movie. And Asterix is, as many of you guys know, is one of my long time growing up comics I really, really, really loved. So a lot of the humor, why I liked Asterix so much, is in Brave, and this is why I really, really loved Brave. So go buy some Asterix comics, go watch Brave, enjoy them both.
All the
Brave was
comics, all
good.
the comics in here, and you have to go after the Brave movie.
Yes,
Okay,
I have my
There's
Asterix
a Brave
connection.
art book.
okay, we'll go with that.
All right.
I've seen that Brave art book.
Excellent. I'm seeing Brave on Thursday, so I'm excited. Okay, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Jim, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully you can stop by when you get back in town.
I'll probably be back here in July, so see you
Okay.
then.
Okay, not too long. July. Everyone else? Omar
You
should
come
probably
on
be-
the zombie run, where we use Charlie as this giant shield.
Probably see Omar back here next week. Don't forget to visit geekbox.net, where you can listen to this episode, as well as all our other episodes, as well as episodes of the Geekbox podcast, the Comedy Button, Good Job Brain, and on forums.geekbox.net, which is the forums. You can listen to the All Talk podcast, where they talk about video games and comics and movies and TV shows and all sorts of stuff. You can go to also comicsconspiracy.biz, where is the site for this store, where we are still pre-selling those Walking Dead number 100 packs. Go on there, you can pick them up. Local pickup, shipping options available. Everything's on there. It's right on the main page. You should be able to see it. Just scroll down a few pages. Let's see what else. Brock's blog, conspiratorbrock.com. Go read his ramblings. Comics of Kind is Omar's site. He's not here, so we'll pimp that for him. Insanity and Chaos. Oh, and it's Insanity and Chaos. That's your stupid Twitter handle. Infinite Long Box.
Stupid Twitter handle.
That's okay.
Just straight says stupid.
Infinite Long Box is Charlie's other comic podcast, where they are much more caught up on comic books than I am. What else we got? Jim, did you pimp anything?
I got nothing to pimp.
You got
right
nothing?
now.
Okay.
That's the mannequin at home.
Although I'm thinking about putting a statue for him together. So,
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
so
Are you ever like on the Foosh? Or do you go on there, or do you go on?
I fly on all the sites. I go
Yeah.
to Comic Vine, comic book movie, superherohype.com. All
Yeah,
those,
I know.
So.
Whenever I go on those websites, your face always pops up in the Facebook box.
Yeah.
None of you guys pop up. This guy pops up.
I'm
like,
all
what
over
the?
those. So I'm all over the statues, the custom statues, the movies, the anything, the superhero hype and all those. And
Cool.
nothing yet, but I'm thinking about it. So.
Okay. Well, you can find us on Twitter as well. Ryan Higgins, Ryan. Brock Sager. Comics and Decline is Omar when he comes back. Toby XI is Toby. And Insanity and Chaos is Charlie's not stupid Twitter handle.
Yeah, but you still put stupid in there.
Not stupid.
Well, that was a minute ago, man. Come on, keep with the times, yo.
Yeah. We're over it. We're past it. It's over.
It's over.
It's over.
Dead issue.
Brock, much like making fun of jokes that Bleeding Cool posted 6 months ago, it's over. Just get past it. Okay?
What is your problem with fingers in Daredevil?
Just get over it, okay?
I don't get it. It happened twice now. Probably more.
Okay, done. We will see everyone next week.